Hello, everyone. A very, very good evening. How's the energy in the room? Is the energy high? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Awesome. I can't see many of you on the camera. Can I request everybody to please switch on your cameras? It's nice to have a face behind those names. Vivek, Vamshi, Ravi, Chandu, Bobby, Anuradha. Come on, team. It's nice to interact when you know the person's face behind those names. Hi, Vamsi, how are you? Ashish, Srujan, Raki. It'll be good to have you all on the cameras. All right. All right. I won't take much of your time, but let's get the session started. How many of you grappled the energy with yesterday's midweek break? I did. I definitely did. I got to sleep an extra hour. I got to walk for an extra 30 minutes. How many of you did? Give me a thumbs up. You did? Nice. Awesome, Vineet. Awesome. Who else did it? Good, Anupama. Awesome. How much of energy it gives us when we have a midweek break? Don't we love it? All of us wait for that one public holiday that comes in between the week. Don't you and I agree? Yes? Yes, we do. We do. All right. So let me give you a quick introduction about myself. My name is Aishwarya Rai, and I am Amitabh Bachchan's daughter-in-law. No? Don't agree? Okay, neither do I. I'm happy being Chitra Marian, happy being the daughter-in-law of Lakshman. All right. So my name is Chitra Marian, and apparently I'm the only wife to my husband and mom for two sons. And my elder son is currently pursuing his MS in Sustainable Structural Engineering. And my younger one is doing his undergrad in Business Management and Technology in Dubai. My husband is into business, and I kind of give him a little bit of support in the business. While I do all this, while I play all of these roles, I'm also a mom. Sorry, I also work. Why am I saying that at the end? I also work, because that's only a small portion of my life. I also work, and I come with over 20 plus years of experience in the domain of an executive assistant. Now, I have had the privilege to work with some amazing bosses who have been great bosses throughout my career. And I've had the privilege to also work with bosses across the globe. I've had also the privilege to travel across the globe. I've done a lot of work travel, including from the West to the East, everywhere, and worked with some great bosses. How have I been managing doing all that? So this is where we are going to talk about today. How do we do work-life balance? Now, before I go there, let me show you one slide and tell me, how does this hit you? All of you can view my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right. Let's read the statement. You will never feel truly satisfied by work until you are satisfied by life. Do you agree with me? Do you all agree with me? Yes? Yes, absolutely. If you aren't satisfied with your life, no matter what role you are playing, no matter at what position you are, it's not going to lead you satisfaction. It's not going to lead you happiness, isn't it? Right? Similarly, I'm going to give you another statement and tell me how hard does this hit you. Can you see my screen? No one on his deathbed ever said, I wish I spent more time at the office. How many of them would say that? Would you or me or anyone over here say that? Does that ring a bell? Isn't that a very strong statement? And it was told by a politician, Paul. It's a very strong statement. Why am I talking about this today? Because we all want to work, but at the same time, we want to have a balanced life, isn't it? Are you here with me until here? Yes? Yes. So today, in today's corporate world, it is becoming so demanding that it has become a very growing issue that we all lack quality time and balance between family and work, or rather between work and life. How many of us consider that work is life? I had this confusion. What is work-life balance? Isn't work and life same? But no, it is not the same. Here we are talking about two different things. Life is gigantic. It's huge. It's humongous. In this gigantic portion of our life, work is only a small portion. Having said that, work is really important. And so is our family and the me time and my time. Agreed? Agreed, all of you? I need some interactions. Yes, no, thumbs up. I want it to be, I know we are muted, but then you can always do this. So we've all read this news. How many of you are like up to date where we came across a very heart-wrenching news about a young lady who lost her life or succumbed to death because of the work pressure? We all read that, isn't it? So honestly, my heart goes to those bereaving parents. Honestly, we don't want to get there. None of us want to get there. We all want a balanced life. We have to work. There's no doubt in it. We definitely have to work. It's an unquestionable statement because most of us here are breadwinners. We want to succeed in our career, but at the same time, no compromising on our family time. Right? Let me ask you a question before we proceed further. How often do you find yourself working beyond your contracted hours or beyond your office hours? How often do you find yourself? Once a week or only when there's emergency? Show me in your fingers. Let's say, so Anupama, you're saying twice a week? Twice a week you end up working late? Okay. Vinit says 4. Ganesh, you're lucky. You're saying 1. Muthu says 2. Okay. Srinivaskar says 2. Okay. So most of the time, I am surprised to the ones who said 1 or 2, but most of the time there are many, many employees who really work every single day. They put in those extra hours and not really having those wonderful family time. Be it your parent, be it your partner, be it your children, anyone for that matter. And how many of you end up working on the weekends? Most of us do, right? Sometimes maybe not on demand, but we are so used to hear. Our brain is so much, accustomed that without our knowledge, we pick up the mobile and we start checking our emails. And the moment you check your emails, your fingers are like, very like, what do I say, tickling for you to reply, respond. isn't it? How many of you check your mobile phones and for emails while you're in a movie theater? Unless you see the board there written saying that please switch off your mobiles, or please do not switch it on, keep it inside. We all of us do. It has become a part of us. We all are so engulfed in our work that we really do not differentiate between working hours and family time. Don't you agree? Well, you're not alone. Today, each one of us, be it you're a beginner at work, be it you're a middle management or a senior management or the leaders of the organization, we all do not really draw those boundaries between work and life. We are literally confusing the two and mixing up the two. Now, how do I balance my life and work? How do I do it? How do I know what is the right amount of time that I need to give here and that I need to give there? It's very important that we understand us first in the first place. What is my work? How am I going to do that? Right? We all juggle. In today's world, it's very competing and we all juggle a lot. It is very demanding. If not stressful, it gives you a kind of mental sickness, mental imbalance, and physically you're getting down, isn't it? If I'm being asked to work 10 hours a day, I am not going to give productivity. My productivity is going to slide. I am not going to be able to do what I did in the first hour versus my 9th hour. There is so much of difference. It's going to dip, 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 and dip. I would rather plan my day in such a way that my energy levels are at my peak during my office hours and draw a line. How do I do that? Is $1 million question, isn't it? It is, indeed, it is. I'm just trying to give my screen again. So, what is work-life balance? If I have to give you a definition, it is simply a state of equilibrium in which the demands of both a person's job and a personal life, if not equal, but at least balanced. Can you see the stones in that image? One above the other. We don't want that to be that way. We want it to be balancing. It can't be equal, but you have to be balancing it. That is the most important fact. That is the most important thing, and it lies with me. It does not lie with anybody else. It purely lies with me, how I do this balancing effect. Right? I cannot ask somebody else to tell me what I should be doing. Today, we are all matured working professionals where we have the rights to decide how am I going to plan my day. Yes, we do, right? It's easy. It sounds easy, but it is not as easy as it sounds. I would rather say it's not as, difficult as well. It's absolutely not difficult. I will tell you about myself. I was married at a very young age. At as young as 20 years. I got married and moved into a very conventional family, and we lived in a joint family. Now, at the age of 20, I've hardly done like my intermediate. I didn't want to give up my studies, and I was working, and I became a mom very soon. How do I balance it? Well, I took a steep decision saying, I am not going to give up my studies for any reason. I am going to do my studies. While I decided that, I spoke to my husband and I told him, you have to give me the support. If you do not give me the support, it is not going to happen. And you won't believe, this looks too filmy, okay? But it is the truth. I had my elder son, who was 4 years old. Throughout the day, well, I did my evening college and then I did my weekend classes on Saturday. Joint family, it's very important that each one of us does our portions. So I used to wake up at 4 in the morning, do all the cooking, cleaning, household chores, pack my son, wrap him around my, those belts you used to have. I used to be on a two-wheeler then. I used to wrap him around and come all the way 17 to 18 kilometers to attend my weekend classes. And my son used to sit next to me in my MBA class throughout the day. He sat on my lap while I'm making notes. There were times that my professor carried my son and gave notes on the board. So I have been lucky enough that when I took a stand for myself, I want to do it, my ecosystem started supporting me. Each one took part in their own ways. I cannot do it and say all the success belongs to me. No, I spoke to people and there it all came together. And I'm so proud that I say I studied MBA while my son also studied MBA, sitting with me in the class. If I can do, you can also do. Agreed? And these days, it is not about work-life balance is not about gender specific. So let me take you through a genesis, how did this whole work-life balance come into existence? Well, the term, you'll be surprised to know that the term work-life balance was coined in 1986. All right? In 1986. However, interestingly, very, very interestingly, it was existing as early as 1930s. Which means it's like a century back. Almost, if not a century. So before World War II, there was this organization called W.K. Kellogg Company. They had most of these organizations had a regular 3 shifts, which is 8 hours a day. But this company came out with something new. They thought in the interest of the employees, laborers, and they made, or rather they created 4 6-hour shifts. And when they made this change, what happened? It increased the employee morale, productivity was doubled, and employees were happy coming to work. There wasn't no absenteeism. And then coming forward in the 80s and 90s, companies started to begin these wellness programs and started to bring into picture the work-life balance programs. But in the 80s and 90s, it was it was designed keeping the women in mind who had children. Because women were stepping out to work then. And to help them balance their life, there was a work-life programs that was introduced for women. But fast forward today, I don't think it is gender specific, right? All of us need work-life balance today, be it a man, be it a woman. We all need work-life balance. So if I have to define that, it's purely the amount of time that you give to your work and to your family, or you give to outside of your work, how balanced do you give it is what matters the most. That's called work-life balance. Agreed with me so far? All of you agreed with me so far? Okay, nice. Okay, Now, when I say balance, I came across this very interesting video, interview of Indra Nooyi. How many of you know Indra Nooyi here? Nice, good. So I was watching one of her interviews, and she said, I don't agree anything about this balancing act. She says, there is nothing called balancing act in life. I was a little confused. I said, what does she mean? She said, there is no such thing as balancing act. All that we have to do is prioritize tasks. When you're playing the role of a leader in the organization, you know what tasks you want to prioritize at that hour, and you're going to work accordingly. And when you are a mom at home, you know what tasks to prioritize. I am not going to be in the kitchen and keep doing presentations. No, that's not the need of the hour, isn't it? So we call it balancing act, but she says it's a prioritizing task. Well, more or less, it's the same thing. All right. But having said that, when I was doing my research, when I knew that I am not spending enough of time, everywhere that I came across, I realized that this work-life balance term, it's termed as a chameleon characteristics. Why do I say chameleon characteristics? Because it has a different meaning, a different term as per situation, as per the speaker, as per the listener, as per groups of people. So, work-life balance has very different characteristics when it comes to each one of us. That is why we call it as chameleon characteristics. And always there's a conflict between the work and the life. One is the pull and the other is the push. While the other is the pull, the other one is the push. It is also proved statistically that, both are so interrelated in your performance that when you have a supporting partner, when you have a very supporting partner, your dependency on the work is a little lower. And when you have a very supporting employer, this kind of slowly dips down. Surprisingly, this is proved. All right. Now, why is it important to have work-life balance? Why is it important to have work-life balance? Can you see my screen? Yes? It is so very important. So. I won't stress this more. It is so very important that we all as human beings are supposed to have a proper work-life balance simply because we need to maintain a mental well-being, physical well-being, social well-being, and financial well-being. And you won't be surprised if I tell you that each one of these well-beings is totally interdependent on the other. How is it? How are they interdependent on the other? If I'm mentally upset, I went to work, I had a PTM to attend, and I'm guilty, and I went to work with that guiltiness, and I am sitting in front of my boss while they are explaining things, my mental and my physical thing is getting disturbed there. When I think a lot, I get headache. Don't you? As a mom, when I think a lot, like about my children, I get a headache. How many of you, the minute you think a lot, when you have too many things running in your head, get headaches at work? Most of us do, right? And anybody's telling us something, we're like, can you leave me alone, please? I'll come back to you. So the minute my mental well-being is affected, it automatically cascades to my physical well-being. The minute my physical and my mental is affected, I am not being part of the social well-being properly. I am getting irritated. I'm showing my angry tantrums. I'm screaming at people. If not screaming, I'm not going to participate actively there. I want to just walk away. And if any of these are not there, if I'm not being physically well, am I going to be able to earn well? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My productivity is going to dip. And I'm not going to be doing well financially. My appraisals are going to be affected. Isn't it? I'm not going to perform. The minute when I don't perform, my appraisals are going to dip. I'm not going to have good reviews. And eventually, it is going to affect my rating. What happens when your rating is affected? Your bonuses are affected. Your increments are affected. And I'm not going to be able to work if I'm not well. I'm going to take a lot of leaves. I don't want to be absent from work. How many of you have experienced the day you're not there at your desk, all kinds of problems erupt? Right? Nagaraju says yes. Till the day I'm at my desk, it's all fine. It's all seamless. But the day I decide to take one day leave, I don't know from where all these problems come. Isn't it? Dali, do you agree? Yes, absolutely. So, one is interdependent on the other. And it is very, very important that we all have a perfect blend of all of this in our lives. Now, you people must be wondering, Arey yaar Chitra, we have come here to, grow in our career lives. What are you confusing us for? I want to put more hours. I want to work extra. I want to be in the good books of my boss. Isn't it? Absolutely. I'm not here to confuse you guys. Don't worry at all. All that I'm going to do is share some tips, strategies that can help you design and align your career growth while you're not missing also on your family time. All right? Let's go there. Okay, this is just a small information, okay? Top barriers to a healthy work-life balance. One, the topmost, everybody wants to be perfectionist. How many of you watch Amir Khan movies? You love them, right? You love them, but that's a reel. We are not here to play reels. We are here to play real games. All right? The biggest barrier for a healthy work-life balance is people try to be perfectionists. No, you have to be progressive. You have to be really progressive. Second, company culture. The culture of the company is so important for you to have a healthy work-life balance. How many times has your manager supported you when you say you want a proper vacation without being disturbed? No phone calls, no emails, no WhatsApp messages, right? How many bosses support that? I say very few. Very few. But it is in your hand how you set the expectations. All right? It is purely in your hand how you set expectations. 16% say they are burnt out. And then 13.8% say the job itself. And 13.2% says it is the bosses and the supervisors that is a top barrier for them in a healthy work-life balance. And this statistics is not an old one. This is as new as last year. You can verify this. Okay. So while I was saying that we are going to talk about few tips and strategies, that will help you, design your life in such a way that you can not only succeed in your career, but at the same time have a proper balance of things outside your career. All right? I want to go for my daughter's or son's PTM. I want to go and attend the poetry competition that my kid is doing. I want to take my mom out for dinner. How many of us are able to do that? Are you able to do that? Ask yourself. Ask yourself, how many times have you been out for your kids' football game? How many times have you yourself said, this hour to this hour is me time. I want to do yoga. I want to go for a walk. Do not disturb me. How many of you calendarize your me time? Have you done it so far? Really, really thumbs up for you, Dali, if you've done it. Really appreciate you. Really appreciate you. But I really feel there are a lot of us, many of us who do not do that. Even if I put something, some work emergency comes and it's very easy to knock this off. Very easy. We just like, hata do, nahi chahiye. And we do all the begging, pleading at home, saying that, please, yaar, please, yaar, please, yaar. Next time. Right? So without taking more of your time, I'm going to take you through the strategies. So the first strategy is define success on your own terms. When I say define success on your own terms, work-life balance for you should be your personal. You cannot define it on your external factors. Most of us, what we do, we define it on our external factors like, the promotions, the financial improvements that I have, the wealth creation, all that. No, define a work-life balance according to your need. What could be a work-life balance to Srinivas may not be the same to Dali. It not be the same to Nagaraj. It could be different to Vineet, isn't it? It could be different to Neetu. For Neetu, it could be just spending time at home with the kid could be one of, sorry, Neetu, I don't know if you're married, but possibly it could be just, sitting and feeding your child. That could be a proper balance to you, right? So define your success in your own terms. You draw a line about what you want to do, how you want to do, where is your emotional resilience, and how you want to be present both at work and at family. All right. So take a pen and a paper, or you can take screenshots of this and write down the terms. What do you define your success on? All right. Set boundaries with technology, the most difficult one. I think I personally also don't follow, but then I'm trying to do that. Set boundaries with technology. When I say we all carry our mobile today, everything is at our palms. We all carry it in our hands. We carry our friend and enemy in our hand. All right. How many of us are wasting time just watching reels while on bed? Huh? You can't stop at 10, you can't stop at 20, and then you think everything that's coming on a reel is true, and you're also forwarding them to different people and say, follow, yeah, follow. Technology has taken away most part of our lives. Most part of our lives. I think we need to set a boundary there. Draw a line. The line is very blurred, but we tend to miss it. Draw a line between your phone time and family time. Do not be on your phone when you're sitting with your family. When you're at your dinner table, make a detox, technology detox. The third one, build strong network and support system. When I say build strong network and support system, it is just not your professional network. Build a support system around also your professional network. Get into some clubs, writing club, reading club, bullet club. There's so many clubs available in today's world. You know, build your networks. Most of the time, we just forget that the minute I say network, I don't know why it is always prefixed with professional network. Na, Baba, na. There are so many other networks that you could build on. All right. So build a network, a strong support system that can unwind you from your work. Okay. Very important. Be selective. Can you read the statement? Don't fill your cup because it's empty. I repeat, don't fill your cup because it's empty. You know, when I say just don't take everything onto your plate just because it's empty or half full. Don't be in a hurry to take over things at your workplace. For that matter, don't fill your plate even with things from I would say even at your personal network. Be selective, be choosy, be strategic, decide on the opportunities what you want. If it is not doing you good, say no to it. Talk to your boss, talk to your manager, talk to your spouse at home. Do not fill your cup because it's empty. Be selective in nature. When you are selective, you get the best. You don't want to be a trash can, right? And the final one, collaborate with your partner. How many of us do this? Collaboration with partner. I'm talking about your partner at home. It could be your parents. We all collaborate very well at our office ecosystem. But how many of us collaborate with our partners at home? Most of the time, or perhaps it's the most overlooked aspect. Most overlooked aspect. You know, we don't collaborate at home. We don't want to discuss work, but you can always discuss strategies, how you would like to balance your life. Acknowledge your partner. Give them the credit. You know, if not your partner, you are not going to be able to sit here today at 8 p.m. to attend these calls. They are supporting you. They are taking care of your family. They're taking care of your kitchen. They're taking care of your kid. How important it is to be gratitude and show acknowledgement. So please acknowledge your partners. Collaborate with them. Follow these 5 strategies and see there could be, if not vast, but there is a very good difference in your work-life balance. How many of you agree with me till here? Okay, give me a thumbs up if you say yes. If no, you can do this. I'm okay. I don't mind taking the critics as well. All right. So I want to end this session with, when I say powerful, what are your key takeaways? You know, we spoke for the last 30 minutes, 35 rather, I'm running over on time. I'm sorry. What are your key takeaways? All that you have to do is mainly don't fill your cup because it's empty. Be choosy, be selective. Okay? Prioritize, reprioritize your work. Practice delegation. When you practice delegation, you have a balanced time. You have time to put it in the right place. Otherwise, you're going to do too many stuffs. And then curate me time. When I say me time, curate me time. Could be anything for that matter. You could be reading, you could be doing yoga, you could be doing anything. But it needs, you know, your thought process should go there. Your thought process should go there. That's the most important key takeaways that I would like to tell you. And my conclusion over here would be, by redefining success, setting boundaries, building networks, and making deliberate choices, be it around travel, work, assignments, whatever, you as an individual, to be leaders or already leaders, can have a balanced life. Trust me on that. The ultimate goal should be to visualize and manifest, and not to be a perfection. Visualize, manifest, but with integration, a holistic approach in whatever you do. And that brings us to the end of our session. Was that a good session? How many of you would agree to the things that I said? I like that. I like that, Vinith. I like that. I like that. Thank you. Well, before I end the session, I would like to say tomorrow is going to be another interesting one. It says adapt or exit dilemma. It's going to be a fun-filled Friday. I promise that. You know, we all want to end the week with a lot of fun activities. I don't know if it's going to be activity, but yeah, it has to be a fun-filled one. So, see you there tomorrow, 8 p.m. on the same forum. And another important announcement before I wind up the session today. Please join our WhatsApp group, a community. Please join our Facebook. Download the learning sheets, PDFs, and checklists. We have a whole lot of inventory there. Make use of it. And do set a reminder tomorrow for the 8 p.m. session. All right. Thank you, everyone. Let's end it up with Vishal Manocha style, with a lot of energy. Come on, everybody. Lot of energy. I want to see everybody on the screen. Yes, lot of energy. We are going to be there. All right. Happy week. Happy weekend when you are there, guys. Tomorrow. Have a good evening. Have a good family time. Bye-bye.